Hey guys, this is Brad with BlackOvis, and today we are going to talk whitetail, specifically early season whitetail. And to do that, I'm not the best guy for that, so we brought in an expert. We have Chris Derrick, product line manager at Sitka, who really has a hand in the design of all these whitetail products we're going to go over. He's the expert on it, and he's going to walk us through his personal favorite pieces, how he does early season whitetail, the conditions, so on and so forth. So I'm going to turn it over here to Chris, and he's going to walk us through it, and I'm going to learn a little something along the way as well. So,
yeah, I mean, early season, depending on where you live, I mean, we can vary from very northern United States all the way to Florida. So, I mean, like I've hunted deer in Florida and hunting the rut in July and August for Seminole, which is probably the hottest place, most uncomfortable place you could possibly be. All the way to seasons that are starting in October, depending on where you're living. So those types of, early season conditions can really vary. So I'll talk about this in a way that, like, maybe depending on where you live or maybe where you travel to hunt, allows you to build a system that's right for you, because the same system for somebody in Georgia is probably not the same system that somebody needs in Ohio.
Sure.
So the first thing that I would say when we're talking about early season systems is, we all got to wear pants, right? And we're not going to be wearing base layers usually this time of year. So there's three options. They're all great options from a whitetail standpoint, but I'll tell you a little about each pant so you can maybe find the right one that's the best pant for you. So Traverse pant, is just going to be a simple pant. It's not going to be over featured, but just a great pant to be able to get you started. I would say, depending on, whether you are hunting in Georgia or if you're hunting way up north, this is going to be a great pant for you. That's just, got enough of the features that are going to get you right. The next thing is, if you wanted to step up to the next level of pant, I would say look at the Equinox pant. So this is not the Equinox Guard pant. That's a different pant I'll go into in a second. This is the regular Equinox pant. This is our fully featured pant for whitetail general use. It's going to have large cargo pockets. So if you're running like a safety line, you're climbing up, I like to keep those in the cargo pocket, things like that. Can go inside of here. It's got a separate knife pocket. And then additionally on this particular pant, it's got one feature that's really nice. If you look on the inside of it, there is a waterproof seat. So this is a Gore-Tex taped seat. So anybody who's ever had walked into your stand, sat down after morning dew or maybe a light rain, and there's either a bucket seat and it's dark, you sit down and you're like, dang it, and all of a sudden you have to sit there with wet pants for the rest of the time. It's the outside of the pant may get wet, but the inside will actually protect you from getting wet.
Gotcha.
So that's the Equinox pant.
And that seat is a fairly recent update to the Equinox pant, correct?
Yes, we said we updated that in 2021.
Gotcha.
So that's a new upgrade. And then the last thing, this is not one that I would suggest if you're starting like super late, like a later early season setup, and you're not maybe having to deal with bugs maybe except for 1 week. But like most of the southern states, this is going to come into play all the way through December. If you're running the Northeast where you've got a bad problem with ticks, that's the Equinox Guard. So if you're in an area that's just got a high tick content, this is the pant for you. It's going to be designed to be able to, with internal leg gaiters, so any ticks that climb up, the hem of your pant are never going to contact you. It's got permethrin through insect shield infused for the life of the garment. So everything about bug protection. So that's the Equinox Guard. So Equinox Guard, bug protection, Equinox pant, waterproof seat, fully featured cargo box or cargo pockets, and then the Traverse pant. You're kind of opening $150 pant, just great starter pant if you're looking for a generalist pant. And then for tops, usually you're going to be facing conditions that are going to be anywhere from 95 or 100 degrees, down to 60s and 70s for an early season condition. So, we've got our core lightweight family, whether or not you want that in a crew or a hoodie or, just a regular short sleeve design. These are just going to be your synthetic base layers. And the reason, a lot of people like these, I wear these all the way into the late season. So think about when you're setting your foundation for your system.
Right.
This is going to be your moisture management system in the late season. The lightweight base layer you wear next to skin and add layers on top of that. But then for the early season, super lightweight and breathable. Right. So that's something, you know, depending on where you live, is a great choice.
Yeah, that's a good, I like your point on as far as it's not just early season. You know, when I first started investing in my Sitka system, the tops helped. You know, the fact that you could take an early season into late season took a lot of the sting off of that initial investment, because I'm getting multiple seasons out of this. Same thing for whitetail stuff, correct? So you could wear a core lightweight from when it's 100 degrees all the way down to when it's possibly below freezing even.
Yeah, absolutely. Even in late season, people should be wearing a very lightweight base layer next to their skin. So those are great options. Now, let's just say you are in an area, like I used to live in South Carolina and hunt in Alabama. I mean, I've had December where I've had mosquitoes around me, and so that's where the Equinox Guard comes in. So if you're dealing with a really buggy environment or a lot of months where you're taking mosquito bites, especially in those southern states, the Equinox Guard hoodie is the option that I would suggest you go with. It's got a built-in face mask for concealment, super lightweight textile, but we designed that mosquito, this to be bite-resistant mosquitoes, so they can't get, those female mosquitoes can't get their proboscis through to be able to bite you with the Equinox Guard. Plus it has some permethrin in it. Then, like, as days start to get cooler, you know, one of our favorites that everybody loves to wear is the Fanatic hoodie.
Right.
It's got the flip mitts. Like, say it's a cool morning or it's going to be cooler in the evening, especially on cool mornings, I'll start out and with the Fanatic hoodie on. You know, it's not overly warm, but gives you some nice insulation with a heavier weight lofted fleece. If you're someone that just doesn't like a lot of extra hoods, there's also a heavyweight zip tee. So it's the same design, but no hood, no face mask, no flip mitts. So,
gotcha.
So pick between, you know, those two if you're looking for a little bit of insulation. They're a nice to have in your kit. So that'll get you through the vast majority of the early season. Now, there are some times that you're going to run in where they're really cool mornings,
right?
Or, you know, temperature fluctuations. So this is when we're starting to run the edge of getting into mid-season conditions. So one thing that pretty much always stays in my bag, in my pack, is the ambient. So a lot of you maybe had the original Celsius MIDI jacket in 2022. That's being replaced with the ambient. Super active insulation, like with a specialized insulation that we're using inside of here. That this thing is surprisingly warm, super breathable, and it's just a great packable piece that you can throw in your bag. Doesn't take up much space, but gives me a little insulation. So, you know, the ambient hoodie or the ambient jacket, available both with and without a hood, I would say is a must-have to have in your kit.
Would this be something that you could also stretch, like a multi-season usage, where, you know, the edge of early season, where you could layer that in a system for late season as well? Would that be a piece you could do this with?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've run this under my Fanatic in sub-zero conditions, or I even throw it under my Stratus, which, you know, allows me to get into the teens, like the low teens, with that setup, depending on where you live. And then, you know, there's just some pieces. These are, again, nice to haves that maybe are starting to skirt the line of mid-season, but a Stratus vest, maybe it's breezy wind stopper. I'll throw the Stratus vest on. Again, later in season, you can, you know, throw this on. I can definitely get down, you know, pretty low temperatures, like into the 40s with this on into the mid-season.
That's one of our best-selling pieces, is the vest. And I think it's because it's a very versatile piece. That
it is.
The guys can, either they're just, like you say, skirting the edge of one season or another, where that really bridges a good gap, and it's a super popular piece.
Yeah, and if you're like maybe in like Ohio or something like that, and your season's starting pretty late, you know, you may only have a couple of, like a week or two of really warm conditions. That's like, I would still qualify for early season. And then there's just some nice options. I would say this is a nice to have, but the Traverse family, there's a bib, there's hoodies that go along with this. You know, this one, like, you could take the Traverse hoodie, the Traverse bib, throw a Stratus vest on top of that, and now you're getting closer into
Sure.
those mid-season conditions. So it allows you to where the early season's running into mid-season, putting in like a little bit of an insulation layer with a light windstopper piece actually gets you pretty far into the system. Yeah, and I would say just for those of you like wanting to think about what you need in your line, like think about where you're going to go into your late season conditions, and then like target pieces that either have hoods or don't have hoods, because the last thing you want to do is invest in like a lightweight hoodie and then a Fanatic hoodie and then a Traverse hoodie and then a Stratus with a hood. Like that's a lot of hoods.
You're managing your hood system more than your weapon or looking for deer or whatever.
Yeah, so you can, even though the Stratus hood is removable, like, just kind of, you can pick and choose pieces, because I include both with and without hoods
Sure.
into a setup that builds that. And then, you're going to need a headwear piece. And then from a gloves, again, buggy environment, Equinox Guard,
Yep.
lightweight glove for mosquito bites, or the Traverse or Fanatic hoodie. So the Traverse glove and the Fanatic glove are lightweight, light fleece gloves that you can wear during early season conditions. Fanatic glove has no finger and thumb. This has finger and thumb. Everything else about them is roughly the same with the Traverse and the Fanatic. And a lot of people don't know this, like merino, lightweight merino, if you're a merino guy, that's a great glove.
Yep.
It actually does a pretty good job of keeping you cool in the heat and
Sure.
then warm in
Yep.
the, so this you can run as a liner later into the season as well.
Perfect. Yeah, good versatility.
Yep, so that's kind of my setup for an early season to help people build a kit.
Awesome. No, that's a killer rundown. I definitely learned a little bit. And there's plenty of new product in here. We're going to have other videos on a new product that is releasing this year. So check the links below. We'll have extra videos on new product, links back to our website. Any questions at all, please hit us in the comments below. Give us a call. We'd love to chat whitetail with you. Get your system set up for early season, mid-season, late season, whatever the case may be. We'd love to hear from you. And thanks for tuning in.